Hi everyone, and welcome. If you're watching this, chances are you've recently gotten engaged. So congratulations. My name is MJ, and this is my sister Nicola.
Welcome to where'smywedding.co.za. We've created this website to help you and your fiancé find your perfect wedding venue.
Nicola is a wedding planner and has years of experience helping couples find the perfect location for their special day.
In my experience, choosing your wedding venue is probably the biggest decision you'll need to make whilst planning your wedding, and is often something that you'll struggle with.
And that's where we come in. Where's My Wedding is a website designed to help you find your dream wedding venue. Using our filtered search, you can narrow down venues that meet you and your fiancé's unique requirements. We've identified 6 key questions you need to consider when choosing your wedding venue.
First things first, where do you picture yourselves getting married? It seems obvious, I know, but there's a lot you're going to need to consider.
You need to think about the location of your venue. Would you like to get married on a beach? Maybe in the winelands or on a game farm? Perhaps you prefer to be married in the city where people don't need to travel too far. This is something you need to seriously consider when choosing your venue. How far are you prepared to travel?
The second thing you'll need to consider is what is the style or the theme of your wedding? Is it an elegant black tie event with men in tuxedos and ladies in floor-length gowns?
Maybe you prefer something more rustic and laid back, a brunch perhaps with close friends and family.
We have developed our style and theme filter to allow you to select more than one option. Some venues simply can't be categorized by one style or theme.
Whatever you choose, remember it's your day. It's all about you and your fiancé. The kind of wedding you choose will also dictate the time of year you're going to get married.
Most couples tend to get married in the summer months. However, winter weddings are becoming more and more popular.
Think massive fires and hearty food.
And sometimes reduced rates.
There are plenty of resources out there to help you find what you want. When Nicola first meets with a client, they usually spend a day or two developing mood boards so she can get a better understanding of what the client wants.
So we invite you to explore Where's My Wedding. This is precisely why we've made the website image heavy, so you can visually gain inspiration on what you like, as well as how venues can transform into spectacular spaces.
The third thing you need to consider when choosing your wedding venue is the budget.
We realize that money is a sticky subject, but the amount you'd like to spend on your wedding is something that you'll need to establish from the start.
Is there flexibility in this amount, or do you have a set amount that you need to stick to? We have divided all our venues into categories so that you can browse for wedding venues suited to your budget.
The costs of a wedding can escalate very quickly, but if you're clear about your budget from the beginning, it'll help make every decision that much easier.
Which brings us to the fourth question. How many guests do you think you'll have? I know many of you would like to invite every single person you know to share in your special day, but the reality of it is that the number of guests will influence your budget.
I encourage both of you to sit and write a list of family and friends you'd like to invite to your wedding. A guesstimate is fine for now, but it will determine your venue choice. For example, you don't want a venue that can accommodate 300 guests if you're only expecting 50 guests. In this case, you'd want a small, intimate venue that can accommodate your wedding party with ambience and warmth.
The next thing you need to consider is whether your reception will take place at the same venue as your ceremony.
Most couples have their ceremony and reception at the same venue, just in different areas. This may not be the case for you. Perhaps there's a special place, perhaps a place of worship that you'd like to host your ceremony at. If your ceremony and reception are at different locations, you will need to consider the travel distance between the two venues. We have designed our website with an interactive map to allow you to view venues within close proximity to one another.
Also, would you prefer your ceremony to be indoors or outdoors? Perhaps you prefer to have it in a chapel. Many venues these days have their own chapel on site. Which brings us to the sixth and final question. Do you require accommodation? And if so, does the venue have sufficient accommodation for you and your guests, either on site or within a reasonable traveling distance?
A growing trend we are seeing is weekend weddings, particularly if family and friends have traveled from afar for your big day. If this is the case, you could have a relaxed gathering on the Friday night before the big day.
Or maybe a late brunch on the Sunday, when everyone can share stories from the previous night's festivities.
Now for the fun part, finding your perfect wedding venue. But before you start your search, let us recap the 6 key questions you'll need to consider. Where do you want to get married? What kind of wedding would you like? The style, the theme, and the ambience. What is your budget? And is the budget flexible? How many guests do you think you'll have? Is your ceremony and reception at the same venue? And finally, does the venue have accommodation on site or nearby for you and your guests?
Once you've answered these 6 questions, you're ready to start your search. Use our filtered search to narrow down venues that meet you and your fiancé's unique requirements.
Once you've done this, go and visit the shortlisted venues to get a good feel for the flow of the space. Have a look at the prospective ceremony area, the prospective pre-drinks and canapes area, and of course the reception area. If these venues are outdoors, is there a plan B for bad weather?
If there's a coordinator on site, it's important that you feel a good connection with them. You're going to be dealing with them a lot, so it's important that they are helpful and accommodating.
To help you with your venue visits, download the venue questionnaire below. It includes all the questions you'll need to consider asking when visiting your shortlisted venues. For example, can you bring in your own wine? Is there an on-site chef? And most importantly, what is included in the venue hire?
It is important to be aware of what comes with the venue and what does not, as this is often where unforeseen costs can escalate.
To help you with this, we have provided you with a venue costing estimator that you can apply to each venue.
Our costing estimator is designed to give you an estimate of what it will cost to bring an item in should the venue not provide it or you do not like what the venue does provide. Our estimated prices are based on current average industry prices.
It also exists to give you an idea of what items you'll need to consider when planning your wedding. Knives and forks are probably the last thing on your minds.
Equipped with all this knowledge, you and your fiancé are now ready to start looking for your venue. Once you've made the decision, and this is going to sound painfully obvious, but book the venue, sign a contract, and pay the deposit. Until you've done this, the venue is not secure.
If you're torn between two venues, the best bit of advice I can give you is think of how you felt when you first walked into the venue. If the venue felt right, it probably is.
And just like that, you're halfway there to planning your big day.
Let the search begin.